finally, Bobby Maximus enters the Valley of the Peace.
Hell yeah.
Again.
But my first time, I wasn't right when I came here.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was on my deathbed at the start of what happened to me. I lost 47 pounds in 30 days after I came here.
Oh man,
And after, and I was shitting blood. I was sleeping in a bathtub naked because it was just too much of a mess to clean up in the morning. I was really, really fucked up. And when I came here, I didn't feel right. I was losing weight. I was weak. My workouts weren't right, but I didn't know anything was wrong then. Mm-hmm. And then right after I left, it was like straight hospital visit after hospital visit. They wanted to pull my intestines out, do a bunch of shit. So the real Bobby Maximus is here now, not the you have a Superman up there, the kryptonite.
Well,
Bobby Maximus, you met at Iron Wars.
I don't know, Bobby. I know that's how you feel, but it took a Superman to show up.
Fair enough.
Under those conditions.
Yeah.
So I know how you feel. A lot of times, I experienced this myself. Being Superman, 1 minute, the next minute, all your superpowers is gone, and you're no longer able to reach tall buildings with a single bound. And you're earthbound, just like everybody else, and it seems like you need a little less.
Well, everyone, it's interesting with you because everyone, I know you as a friend, so I see you down, but everyone sees you on camera and turned up volume number 11. And I don't think people understand everyone's like that. Like Ray Lewis on the football field is not Ray Lewis all the time. He's a guy that gets out of bed in the morning and maybe his back hurts like the rest of us.
But they expect you to be Bobby Maximus 24/7.
24/7, 365.
Exactly. That's the expectations. Bobby Maximus, cover model, super fit.
So you gotta show up.
Fittest man on the planet. Mr. Christmas trees.
On the back.
Yeah. Christmas trees lighting up all over the back. Christmas every day as far as Bobby Maximus.
Every damn day. You got that right.
Pull-ups, dips, squats. I see you doing it. I mean, your Instagram is. If you've never seen Bobby Maximus Instagram, you gotta check it out. Dude is ridiculous. His fitness level is second to none.
Jailhouse workouts.
Yes, sir. Second to none.
Second to none. I have this thing where it's nice to have all the gear, but you don't need it. You know what I mean? You could train with nothing.
Definitely.
And actually an old mentor of mine, Ian Sinclair, we wrestled, one of the strongest guys I know. He went away to jail. And came out and he was stronger than I'd ever seen. And he was already a fit specimen of a human. I'm like, what have you been doing? Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, lunges, burpees.
Yep.
Okay, so that became a huge part of my program. That's all I did. Changed my life. Also keeps you injury-free. I get to be doing this in 25, 30 years, so I can't be messing around.
Huge influence, the non-weight.
Yeah.
Staying in shape with no weights. Jailhouse, you refer to as jailhouse workout, right?
Yep.
And we see examples of that all over your Instagram all the time. You catch Bobby doing dips and pull-ups. I want to ask you about a few things that don't have anything to do with fitness. Now, it's a lot of Instagram personalities are afraid to take a stand either way because they're afraid of repercussions or losing followers. But I seem to have noticed that this doesn't faze you, Bobby Maximus.
No, sir.
You and that is one of the reasons that I'm here. I want you to know that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this interview. I don't do too much too often these days. Got my ass up, rolled my fat ass out of bed, and got over here to do this with Bobby Maximus because I fucking respect you.
Thank you.
You voice your opinion, whether they like it or don't fucking like it. And you take the side that you feel is right, you stand up for that shit, you say that shit out loud so every fucking body can hear you. And if they don't like it, fuck them.
Well, fuck off.
I like that, Bobby Maximus, and that's why my old ass is here.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here. I respect you for that. I've seen everything you practically can't go look at any type of news or any type of broadcast or anywhere, all over the internet. There's a lot of stuff going on. Racism is all over everywhere. Bobby Maximus has a stand on racism, and I want you to let everybody that doesn't know already what Bobby Maximus stand on racism is.
So here's the thing. I think I have a unique perspective because I'm from Canada. I'm not going to say there's not racism in Canada, but not like the United States. And I want to make it clear, I love living in the United States, and I'm grateful for the opportunities the United States have afforded me. But racism is part of your culture down here. I said on a podcast, I took some heat for it, that racism is as American as baseball. Like, y'all fucking love it down here. And it lit a bunch of people up. It hurt their feelings because that's the truth. That's the reality. Now, on the other side of that, there's a bunch of people who aren't racist.
Yeah.
But my dad taught me, if you don't stand up for the problem, you're as much a part of it as the people that are doing the thing. And so I look around and there's a whole bunch of people that are quiet. They don't want to lose followers. They don't want to lose clout. They don't want their friends to look at them different. And they know in their heart what's right and what's wrong, but they don't stand up for what's right. So you end up with this huge problem in the country where there are a whole group of people who are treated poorly. And there's no fucking denying it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you come from another culture, you can see it as plain as day. People ask me, what do you mean about culture? Like, it's embedded in our culture. When you were in school, you learned that the Underground Railway went what direction? North.
Exactly.
Went to Canada.
Yeah.
So when you guys were having racism, we didn't have that there. And Shannon Sharp is a guy I really respect. I really love.
Me too.
And he worded it so eloquently on a show Undisputed. He said, if you think you have black friends, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly what
you think you have black friends, but you don't stand up, you don't understand their plight, you don't do anything to help them. You know black people. You don't have black friends. And I was like, amen.
Big ass difference.
100%. And I also believe that the stronger you are, the more of a reach you have, the more of an influence you have, I think there's a responsibility that goes along with that to help other people.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because
absolutely.
There are people that support me, that help me, that look up to me. And if I can change one person's mind, that's part of the responsibility of being in this line of work.
Man, responsibility. It's your responsibility.
You got it. And a responsibility to my children. You know what's funny? I said on the same old podcast, if every parent had that attitude, racism, bigotry, homophobia, it could be misogyny, it could be gone in one generation.
Yeah.
So I actually, some people don't agree with this. Me and my kids sat down and we watched a George Floyd video. He cried. I might tear up talking about this. He cried his fucking eyes out. You think that's okay? He needs to know that there are evil people in this world. He needs to know there's darkness. He needs to, this is unicorns and rainbows and lollipops. We talk about all this shit.
Yeah.
And I've instilled in him already, if you bully somebody, I will beat you. If you watch somebody get bullied, you'll get beaten even worse. Like, you have a duty to stand up for other kids, and especially if they're in a position of weakness. If they're in a position where they've been, marginalized. So that's a big part of our family. And this shit goes back for me even to the Eric Garner days. I had some NBA guys in my gym that were passionate about it. And that, by the way, that's when it wasn't cool to stand up for this stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I can't look you in the eye and call you a friend if you're in pain. And I can help you, but I don't.
And stay silent.
Yeah, it's a complete, as far as I'm concerned, lack of integrity.
Ooh, man, I 10,000% agree with you. And like I said, that's the reason why I got my ass over here.
Thank you.
And I'm here today is because of that.
But you know what's sad about that? It's something that should just be standard. for a human being.
You would think.
You know what I mean? Like I would pride myself on saying that I'm accepted. You know, it reminds me too, growing up, I'm from a small town, 1,800 people way up north. We had one Asian family in the town. They ran a Chinese restaurant. I never knew him as Asian. I never knew him as a name, like an inappropriate name. As far as I'm concerned, his name was Mike.
Yep.
That's it. That's there was no separation. There was nothing. And one of the stories that really struck me, my dad died when I was 20. But one of the stories that struck me about my dad, they were in the town pub. I wasn't there, obviously, with him and a group of his friends. And there's a homeless guy in town. My dad invited him to sit with a group. And one of the people in the group said, like, why are you doing it? And he said, if he's not welcome here, you're not welcome here. That's the epitome of what I've tried to, so I've tried to be a person my dad would be proud of. But that's what he believed in. Yeah. You don't know this person's struggle. You don't know what this person's been through. We didn't grow up with a lot, but my dad was very giving because you just include and you help people.
Absolutely. So for you, it was your dad. For me, it was my mom. My mom told me as a little kid, you gotta love everybody. She told me, Bob, she said, you gotta love everybody. And I said, but Mom, I mean, what about people that hate me? I mean, they hate me just because of the color of my skin. I gotta love them too, because I ain't got no problem loving people that love me. That's easy. That's the easy part. Anybody can do that. But what about them people that hate me, Mom? And she said, especially them. And she told me it's easy. If somebody loves you, it's easy to love them back. But it really takes some love and some doing.
It's true.
To love that person that hates you.
That's the only thing that can heal and help people. Because they were, you know what? I actually feel pity for people that hate because they were taught that somewhere.
Absolutely.
They're in a way, they're not a victim because they should know better, but they were dealt a bad hand. And I think that kind of courage and showing them sympathy could go a long way. Because they were taught that. Because once they were like, I look at my little kids, they were just like them.
Right.
You know what's funny? Kids are not capable of hating.
They have to be taught.
They are not at all.
You don't come here hating.
Yeah. There's a video that went viral on the internet. A little black kid, a white kid.
They ran.
And no, it was a little white kid wearing the same shirt as a black kid. He goes, teachers aren't going to be able to tell us apart. And it's like, you watch it and you're like, no, these kids don't see.
Right.
You have a bunch of people that say they don't see color, but it's horseshit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These kids don't. Like, it's just what it is. So even like the worst person in the world, they were taught that by their father, their mother, their friends. Yeah, I think that's a good attitude your mama had.
Yeah, learned behavior, absolutely learned behavior. I made a post recently about, I don't understand how a person can take any joy, any pride in the failure of somebody else. Yep. It makes them happy to see somebody else fail. I don't get that. They're so afraid that of somebody else being successful or being happy, they can't fucking stand it. But I don't get that. I'm afraid to say, okay, they're afraid to say Bobby Maximus is a good dude, or Bobby Maximus is doing something right. They're afraid to give a little credit to Bobby Maximus because they somehow think that that's going to take away from them somehow. Their shine is going to be diminished or less, or they just can't fucking stand to see Bobby Maximus happy or doing good. I don't get that.
I do, because they're not happy.
Yes,
it has to do with insecurity and contentment. And if you're happy and you're secure with yourself, you don't have that envy, that jealousy, that want to watch other people fail. And I'll tell you, I'll look you in your eye. I want to be better than you. I want to be the best at what I do in the world. But I don't want to do it by burning your house down or tearing your tower down. I just want to learn from you and build mine taller. And then when I am the best in the world, I want to thank you publicly. That's how I look at all my mentors. And that's a way, because I do consider you a mentor, that's how I can honor your legacy. That one day, you're not here anymore, I can stand up and can say, I learned from that man and you should too.
Man.
That's where I think there's a power in being happy, but I'm also content. That's the difference. I don't go to bed at night wanting for anything. I don't have a lot, but I don't want for anything. I don't wish ill will on other people. I just want everyone to succeed. But that's my way of honoring people who have been a tremendous impact on my life. By being the best person I can be, not by going out and causing other people to fail.
Absolutely. Now I want to get to the stuff that you probably get asked about every interview that you ever do.
All right.
UFC.
Yeah.
It takes a, now, I have trained and interviewed a lot of UFC fighters. Now, one of my favorite interviews was Hoist Gracie.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can, when he told me this during the interview, oh man, I said, fuck it, somebody else out there just as crazy as I am, and I fucking love it, because I thought maybe I might be the only one that crazy on the motherfucking planet. I don't see if you can relate. So he said he don't understand the fighters now. They plan, before the fight, they'll say, okay, after the fight, we're gonna have an after party here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, making all these plans for after the fight. Bobby, he told me that he never made one plan for after the fight because he was prepared, Bobby Maximus, when he went into the octagon, he was prepared to die if necessary, right there in the fucking octagon. And man, oh man, I lit up like a fucking light bulb when he said that shit. Because I remember my last men's contest very well. The day before I go in the doctor's office, the doctor says, oh, CT, your heart is so bad, if you go out there and try to bench press 700 pounds, your aortic valve could explode, you could die right, the pressure do too much, you could die right there on stage in front of all those people. Now you don't want to do that, do you? Bobby, that shit tickled the fuck out of me.
Fair enough.
I said, fuck yeah, doc, I can't think of a better fucking way to go than right there on the fuck. And then I hear Hoist say the same fucking thing about, oh, fuck yeah, right. I want to pop, fuck, I'm willing to die. Yep. And this fuck, oh man, I was like, oh damn, I know it's at least two of us crazy motherfuckers on this planet. Can you relate to that?
I can, but through exercise.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something funny about my UFC career. I don't talk about this a lot. In fact, I don't know if I've ever talked about this because I struggle with very mixed feelings about my UFC career. I was bullied heavily until I was 15, punched me in the face, penises on my forehead, made fun of me. I remember washing my face off before I got in because my mom would tell the other moms, and then I'd get even worse, rip my underwear out on the bus. It all came to a head when I was 15. 4 kids surrounded me, beat me up, and left me with a broken collarbone. So something clicked inside my head at that point. I do not want this shit to happen anymore, and I need to stand up for myself. I joined the wrestling team. I lost every match my first year. My second year, I won 1 out of 40. And I was pretty disillusioned. And what the fuck am I gonna do? I need to go to the weight room. And I went into the weight room, and there was some older kids there and teachers, Brian Sepatelli, Jim Fox, Mike Xavier, and I probably owe these guys a phone call at some point to thank them. They helped me. Yeah. And that got me started in working out. As I started training, I got stronger. As I got stronger, something strange happened. It wasn't my body that got even stronger. It was my brain. I started to believe in myself more. I started to win. But I'll never forget when I was backstage at my first UFC fight in Mandalay Bay. I wasn't the Bobby Maximus you see. I was that scared 15-year-old kid. I'm gonna lose. They don't want to see me. Like just all the negative voices. And I got my ass kicked. I got it handed to me. And I decided at that moment, I needed to prove to myself that I could do this and I could overcome this hurdle. And So I got a sports psychologist, read books, did all the right things. And then I went out and won a fight and won submission of the night. And I went on to do a couple of other things. And I wasn't a big deal, man. I was a B-level UFC fighter. But I wasn't there.
Wait. I gotta stop you right there. To get to the fucking UFC.
You gotta be good. But you know what I mean.
Guys are training in the fucking gym right now, shadow boxing, and the UFC is the tippity top.
Yeah.
It's a creme de la creme. You can't get no higher than fucking UFC, man, and you fucking made it. So
for sure. But I guess where that comes from is I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish there. But for me, it wasn't like a life. I think for Hoist, if I can speak for him, it's in his blood, it's his life. For me, it was about proving that I could do something that all these motherfuckers growing up that punched me in the face, that called me names, that beat me down, never thought I would ever be able to do. My parents didn't think I could do. So for me, it wasn't, man, I would die to win this fight. It was more just being there and proving that I've already done the impossible. For me, that felt really good.
Bobby, man, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. I thought that I wanted fighting to be my career a long time ago. I thought that was it. But what I really wanted to do was to prove to myself that I had the testicular fortitude to stand out there in front of a whole bunch of people. Because that shit will drive you fucking bat crazy, man. You're worried about every fucking thing. I was like, oh my God, my brother's in the audience. My friend, what? And this is just point fight. I never made it fucking to the UFC. That's fucking.
Still scary though. Whenever there's pressure, whenever there's expectations.
It was 1981 or 2. Ed Parker's International Karate Championship, the same one that Bruce Lee fought.
Yep.
I'm out there, man. The fucking crowd is packed. There's a lot of fights going on at the same time, but for me, it seemed like everybody was looking at me.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man, this is a lot of pressure. So when you talked about that, you went back to being 15 before you walked out there for the first fight. Man, I was fucking 10 or 9 or something.
The world goes through, I call it the toilet paper tubes.
I was a goddamn deer in the headlights, man. Yeah. But I had to fucking prove to myself that I could fucking do it.
And I think people need that. That's what makes you alive.
Yeah.
Doing shit that you're scared to death of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so much different than in the gym or on the street corner when you got a whole bunch of people screaming and looking at you.
But at the same time, you probably don't remember. Like I try to consult adults on getting fit. You even remember what it was like the first time you went into a gym? That shit's scary. We happened to do it young enough. We didn't have the fear. Can you imagine being 35 now, never working out, having to go in? Like it's something that I think a lot of us can relate to when we try something new.
Yeah.
It's scary. I'm so grateful that I got my collarbone broken at 15 because I was too young and stupid to know better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And too stubborn. Like I kept losing, but it was okay. I took it in stride. I don't know if I could do that shit at 30 years old.
Oh man, it would be a whole different ballgame.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now with everybody watching on Instagram, on YouTube, hey, Bobby's got to go do this new thing. Drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what it was for me, was proving to myself and proving to some other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do this. And I take great pride in the fact that you went and asked anyone I grew up with, do you think he would have done this? Hell no.
Yeah.
And that makes me smile.
Yes, sir, buddy.
You know?
I wanted to prove to myself, I also wanted to prove to my dad. You and your dad had a wonderful relationship. Yeah, me and my dad had a fucked up relationship. And I always wanted to one up the dude. He said he was a heavyweight boxer. I hear just little talk about it much, and I'm like, okay. He goes, well, I think he blamed it on my mom, the reason why he quit. And I was like, Joe Louis, Ezra Charles, Rocky Marciano, it was around in your time.
Yeah.
I think maybe they had something to do with your ass quit.
Well, they all had wives too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like for every excuse, there's somebody else that did it.
I'm like, hey, Pops, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight. I'm going to be better. So, trying to prove something to him and myself at the same time.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
I know you didn't have the greatest relationship with your dad, but this is something I think about with my dad from a different angle. Are you ever grateful to him for the person he helped you? Because like without that fire, without that, you wouldn't be you.
Oh, 1,000,000% agree. We had a very contentious relationship my whole growing up. My dad was a preacher, by the way. He got up in church one Sunday, told everybody, I know what the problem is between me and him. That son right there, because I had 2 other brothers. He said, that son right there. And the problem is, the reason why I hate him is because he's too much like me. I hate that kid. This is the preacher in church.
Wow.
And I was there, cool, this is wonderful, because I hate your fucking ass too, so we even, buddy. But, it took a long time, but, I realized it, luckily it was probably, I was 50, in my 50s. And I used to wake up at night, I'd be punching and kicking and swinging, fighting my dad, man. Because this guy, kids say they get spankings or put on punishment. I wish my dad would have told me, you can't look at TV for a week. I've been fucking grateful for that. Instead, he breaks my nose, or something like that. No TV? Oh, wonderful.
Sounds easy.
Yeah. But, so I had a very bad relationship, but I realized, like you just pointed out, that without that dude, without that man being as hard, when I got ready to go in the Army, I said, it's a fucking piece of cake, man. The other guys was, I want to go home. I want to go home. Shit. That's the last place I want to go. This is one. I was already used to saying yes, sir, and no, sir. There's no problem, because I had to say that to my dad my whole life. So the Army was, compared to being, I was already ready for boot camp and ready for drill sergeant and shit when I got to the Army. Because my dad was, he was my drill sergeant. He was a Korean War vet. Tough dude. Tough dude. I watched him at his mom's funeral, my grandmother. They call her Big Mama. I watched him at Big Mama's funeral. He gave her eulogy. His mother's eulogy. Didn't even look like he thought about crying or even said, just no problem whatsoever, man. And then got fucking pissed off at me and my brother because we was crying. It was my mom and you motherfuckers is crying. I'm like, hey, that's my grandma. I'm gonna cry, motherfucker, because I'm sad. But he always told me crying was a sign of weakness. And I'm like, damn, so he'd be fucking me up. I beat my ass. Then he gonna be, better not cry.
Man, he cried getting worse.
Oh, you better not fucking cry. Yeah. But I owe him a whole hell of a lot, because later on, life would throw some shit at me, and I could take it, man. I draw from that shit. Draw from my childhood.
The reason I ask you that is because I've been doing a lot of reflection. Like I sound like I'm dying or something, and I'm not. But like I've been evaluating my life, and I'm very cognizant of the fact my dad died at 49, but I'm 42. Mm-hmm. And both his brothers, as of 4 weeks ago, have had major heart attacks. My brother's 40 and has a pacemaker. Like I'm very aware of this. I got dealt a bad hand. I could go any day. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on stuff, and part of it's being present in the moment. And the question that I've asked myself is, would I change my dad's death? Would I bring him back? And a big part of me desperately wants to, because I lost my best friend. I kind of settled on the fact I'll see him someday.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sorry, Dad, wherever you are for saying that, but there's a part of something in pain that makes you who you are.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's like tempering steel. You can't, without that pain, you can't. And anyone great has been through a whole lot of pain. So you see all the shine that you talk about. You don't see the hardships that person's been through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't know the road they traveled to get there.
Yeah, and it's that has made some of the greatest people of our generation.
Absolutely.
I mean, suffering, hurt, and real pain and suffering and hurt. Not, Dad didn't buy you a new car when you were 16 kind of shit.
Oh man, I'm so glad it's and you hear a lot of that shit.
Oh yeah,
manufactured struggle,
entitled
manufactured pain.
Look, but that shows you the human spirit wants the struggle.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't have one, you will manufacture one right quick.
Yeah, manufactured struggle. Ain't that some bullshit about it?
Well, you have to, because otherwise you have no purpose.
Right.
You need, and you see it in politics. They do it to us all the time. You need an enemy.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah.
They. If you wanna mobilize some people, convince them they're fighting a common enemy. I mean, it's just psychology 101. And I wanted to tell you this face to face. You've been probably the most pivotal person in my career in terms of influencing me. Yeah. And I think it's really important. I have this thing with my dad that I never got to tell him how I feel. But I wanted to tell you, when I was sick, dying, I was watching your videos. It helped me through that. When I feel like I want to quit, I watch your stuff. If there's one person that I could look up to, it's you. And you've helped me become who I am and a lot better. And I don't care if you swear. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care what you fucking believe in. You've helped me and I'm grateful. So thank you for that. And I wish more people had access to you for that. Or would listen to your message, because even one of the things I used to watch was the 10 Commandments of bodybuilding. And one of the things you said that was pivotal for me was don't be scared of pain. When that motherfucker comes to your door, you invite it in, you sit it down, and you have lunch with the pain. And it's so eloquent the way you put through your, you talk about being be the best damn fucking garbage man there is. You know, a lot of that stuff, I think it could really help people, and I wish more people were exposed to you.
Yeah, well, that old man said a whole lot of crazy shit, man. I'm glad you.
I remember every word, every word.
But it bothers me. I really appreciate that, Bobby. I mean, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those words. But I am so nothing, Bobby Maximus. I've been shown, me as a kid or youngster coming along with power, I am the one, the sidewalk cracker, the one your mama warns you about. I am that thing that goes bump in the night. Which one of you motherfuckers is coming inside? That was me. But, Bobby Maximus, when you have been broke down so fucking low, somewhere between life and death, you realize how unimportant you really are, man. And that little, you thought my whole world was centered around this one thing. Where's CT? In the gym. It's his birthday, in the gym. It's Christmas, in the gym. It's fucking new, in the gym. And I'm gonna be in
magnificent
the
obsession.
Bobby, obsessed with that shit. And to have everything that you were so obsessed with taken away, just like fucking that. And all of a sudden, running to the gym, being at the gym is not as important as it used to be. Just fucking still being alive. Just to see my grandkids running around in the yard. Just to still be able to sit here and talk to Bobby Maximus, Mr. Christmas tree himself. It's fucking a blessing. People always ask, how you doing, CT? I always say I'm blessed. That has nothing to do with how I'm physically feeling. Nothing whatsoever. I could be feeling like shit. I could not be able to, not feeling like putting one foot in front of the other. But I'm still blessed, Bobby. I'm still fucking blessed, man. I flatlined 5 times.
Yep.
And I'm still here talking to you, Bobby Maximus.
That's because you have a purpose.
Blessed, man.
You are, but you need to know who you are. The young guy's gonna be the old guy, some life lessons now. One of the things that makes you great is how humble you are. how in touch with reality you are. But I'll tell you, I see a different CT. I remember at the Army where we met, and I was at that little hotel, and I was feeling bad for myself for a minute. Like I wasn't at the host hotel with all the, and then I saw you. I'm like, fucking, this guy is as down to earth. And that's what cemented for me that I really loved you and that I wanted to be, friends with you, was that you're just like me. You're a regular fucking dude. You're not too good for people. And then I've watched you at multiple shows that we've been part of. And you take time for everybody. You sit with everybody. I don't give a shit about the swears. You make people feel good. And the effect that you've had on other people's lives who lined up hours to see you. I've watched you exhausted and wait hours, just shake hands with people, and you're present. You look them in the eye. You make them feel special. The ability to make somebody else, another human, feel special for a minute, I think is the greatest gift you could ever give another human being. And the third thing, I watched you at Iron Wars, and it inspired me when I was sick. I watched you go from barely being able to even fucking be here to being magnificent and great. And the ability, and why? Not because you wanted the limelight for the camera, not because you were doing it for you, because you were doing it for those 500 people that came to see you. And that's what makes you special. So you should know those things. And I wish the world would see that side of you more.
I'm not going to try to convince him how ungreat I am anymore. I'll just thank you, brother. Thank you.
But that's really important. And I think when you pass on, I think there's a lot of people that are going to be sad, because I think about that too, because my dad died young. What legacy? Because that's all we have. What do we leave behind? Who have we influenced? Have we left the world or people's lives better than in which we found them? And I think you've done that. I mean, you've done it for me. So you've passed the test. You've done it for at least one person.
Well, I'm damn sure trying.
And your boy.
Yeah.
Samson, he's a hell of a kid.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. That's
a
legacy.
That's what legacy is. Doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. It's how you made people feel. That's the most important thing. I run into some of my dad's old friends, even people that he didn't know that well, and they still look at me and start to tear up because I looked like him.
Oh, man.
Because of how kind he was, because of how he helped them, that's the most important thing in the world. If you're doing that, so know that a lot of us out there are grateful.
Absolutely. One and only Bobby Maximus.